The most anticipated earnings releases for the week of April 21st, 2025. Presented by Earnings Whispers. Now, earnings season really gets underway with more than 400 companies set to report. The number includes more than 100 S&P 500 companies, which will make it the second busiest week for the large cap stocks this reporting period. There are still a number of financials reporting, but the top sector is the industrials. There are some exceptions, but nearly everything reporting on Monday are smaller financials, with AGNC Investment and Capital City Bank topping the list. Then things get more interesting on Tuesday. At the top of the list is Tesla. We already know it was a rather weak quarter, so it all comes down to just how much of that weakness was due to politics or the transition to the new Model Ys. That will tell us if, after Tuesday, we can just go back to focusing on FSD and Optimus. After basically flatlining for nearly 2 years, Verizon looked poised to finally break out and trend higher as a move to safety and to capture the dividend yield. It is, after all, as I said last quarter, the biggest dog of the Dow. Now, however, we know that breakout failed. At the top of the list on Wednesday is O'Reilly Automotive. It probably is a surprise to many that the company has so many investors and traders anticipating its results during a week when we have Mag 7 and other big names. But we've been in an environment where people are driving their cars longer, and just not that interested in buying new cars. So instead they are going to O'Reilly. That trend doesn't look to change with new tariffs. Also on Wednesday is Boeing, which had a couple of good quarters just over a year ago, but otherwise has just put up ugly numbers for most of the past several years. This doesn't appear to be the quarter that changes. Alphabet and Intel will report right at the same time when the market closes on Thursday. When Alphabet misses estimates, it is typically because it increased spending and is usually a wild card. The low expectations this quarter are likely beatable because of this, but uncertainty in the market are expected to weigh on Alphabet's results, primarily due to softer ad spending. Intel, on the other hand, has been left behind by many of its peers, and after weak results last summer, the stock has basically flatlined. It still isn't a great environment for the company, and it has yet to report any kind of positive results. If there is a positive, it is that things may have bottomed where Intel has some strengths. It doesn't matter though, because you don't really need to consider it until it can hold above $25. Earnings season means a full schedule on Friday, and this week we have more than 25 reporting. AbbVie hit new highs during the quarter, but has sold off rapidly of late. That is more of a market condition than anything to do with the company, but sentiment has fallen to where the stock bottomed in both 2024 and 2022. We can't say that for SLB, because our measure of sentiment for the stock is at record lows, so we've never seen how the stock reacts to such conditions. We know that oil prices aren't exactly bullish, but we also know that the high short interest makes the downside move rather crowded. With the number of companies reporting earnings picking up, and with overall market volatility high, there are a lot of likely big moves coming. One move that isn't expected to be as large as in the past, at least based on options pricing last week, is WNS Holdings. The stock has averaged nearly a 23% move on earnings over the past couple of quarters, but currently is only expected to have a single-digit move as it presses to a new 52-week high. Looking out over the next month, we now have confirmed dates for the biggest names you care about. By that I mean the Mag 7. NVIDIA is just off the bottom of this calendar,